heads up, we sent out a meeting request for tomorrow at 10:30. So if you can take a look at that and try to make that meeting, that would be great. But I will turn it over to Caitlin Norris. She is from our Employee Learning and Development team, and she is going to give us an overview of the offerings that ELD has and how they operate, and tell us how they can help us. So I will turn it over to Caitlin.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Deanna. And thank you all so much for having me today. As I was joining today's session, I saw so many familiar names and familiar faces, whether you're in our cohort-based programs or our self-paced manager cert programs, or we've worked with your team. So it's just so nice to see all of you in just a different environment, a different atmosphere today. So again, I've been asked to talk a little bit about what learning and development does on our campus, and also just ways that we can support our own professional development, growth, and learning. And for those that are managers or team leads, how do we actually help and support and grow that for others? So if you see some emojis popping in the chat, one of the things I really like to do in topics like this is to have an interaction and some engagement. I know this is a really big group that we're going to have on the call today, but if you'd like to add an emoji to the chat of how you're showing up this afternoon, that would be fantastic. It's kind of a fun way to get introduced to the chat box. We'll try to use that a lot today. And it's also just nice to see how folks are showing up. So take a quick moment to do that. I'm going to go ahead and get my screen sharing here as well, and then we'll just dive right on in. I'm going to change my settings real quick. Okay, can you all see the screen okay? It should have the opening introduction slide about learning and development. I see head nods. Yes. Okay. I can only see a few of you, but Betsy, I got you. Okay. So I see you. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for the affirmation. I appreciate that. And I see so many fun chats coming in. It seems like a lot of people are bringing lots of energy. Natalie, I love yours. Trish, good to see you too. Lynette, also love that. A couple coffee cups, a couple yawns. Hopefully I can try to make this as interactive and as engaging for you as possible. I know that right after lunch is always a little tricky, so we're going to see how we can do. But with that being said, I really want to talk today on professional development opportunities. Now, again, many of you I already recognize from our general courses, our self-paced programs, our cohort-based programs, but not all of you. So hopefully you're really able to take advantage of what our team can help and support you with, but also then use these ideas, these recommendations with other people that you support, that you lead, or that you advise and counsel. So with that being said, I wanted to play a short opening video. This is not a video from our team, but rather just a short video about why professional development. What is it? How do we show up to it? Really to set the stage for this big, broad topic of professional development. So I'm going to turn off my personal camera during this and try to optimize our video for screen sharing. And then I'd love to get some thoughts from you all on how this resonates with you, things, takeaways from your end after we watch this short video. So just give me a quick second and we're going to play this short video on what is professional development.
What is professional development? Professional development, in its simplest form, is a program of training that allows a person to improve skills, gain confidence, and increase knowledge. Professional development is growth. Did you know that if you're not growing, then you're stagnating? The world is ever changing, and if you're not keeping pace, then you may get passed by both in your career and in everyday life. Does anyone remember the IBM Selectric? It was cutting edge in the 1960s and 70s. Imagine where you'd be today if your skills had stopped developing in that era. In today's work environment, employees are expected to maintain and/or upgrade their skills on a regular basis. So what new skills have you learned in the last 2 years? Professional development isn't just for those starting in their career or looking for advancement. Professional development is for everyone. Through professional development, each person has the opportunity to achieve a successful career, regardless of your chosen field. Professional development can help you take advantage of new opportunities in your department or seek a promotion. It provides a competitive advantage over the competition. Enhancing your skills can improve productivity, create efficiencies, and can help you get noticed. The confidence that you gain through professional development can also make you more successful. The savvy employee is always working to enhance performance and maintain or improve their skills. It's good for you, and it's good for the company too.
Okay, so I knew that was a little bit of an introductory video to this topic, but I thought it was a nice way to set the stage because oftentimes when we talk about professional development, it can mean lots of different things. And that's one of the reasons that I'm here to talk today is yes, definitely some of the tools and the programs and the offerings that our course within learning and development can provide, but also really to speak broad-based, really more holistically about what professional development is. So when we think about professional development, you all are probably on this call because you're already doing all these things, right? You're already aware of how the impact of professional development in multiple different capacities not only affects you professionally, but so personally as well. So there are some specific things that we like to talk about in terms of the benefits of that big, broad definition of professional development. And there are many, right? There are so many that we could talk about that honestly, we could probably spend just 20 minutes talking about these. But I think really to drill it down, and most of these do come from SHRM in terms of their publications, in terms of why professional development is so relevant. It boosts employee productivity. It also increases our staff retention, which I know that is a huge topic right now for many of you in your departments. It aligns employee development with the goals and the needs of the team and of the unit and also the university. And then it really does increase employee engagement and commitment. And so while, again, these are those big broad-based things, I think it also really has to do with the personal side of this as well. So what are really those personal aspects of professional development when we think about our own individual growth and learning? I think the biggest one, this is probably not a surprise, but it's really learning those new skills. It's learning maybe new tools, new techniques. It's learning new softwares, new applications. I think one of the biggest ones, though, is it really does boost your confidence when you can articulate the things that you do well, the things that you've practiced, the things that you have really honed in over time. And it does also support that credibility that you have, whether it be in an HR capacity or as a team lead, that you're really continuously looking of having that growth mindset of always doing things a little bit better or a little bit more efficient, or again, just learning something new. Developing leadership skills, that's a big thing, especially that we talk about when we're going to look at our pathways programs. Some of the things that we focus most oftentimes across campus is really leadership development, whether it be aspiring leaders, people that might be interested in it, if you are an individual that is stepping into a lead position for the first time. And again, leadership can also mean your self-leadership. Does not necessarily have to have that formal title. In fact, many of the individuals that we have in our different programs they may not actually have that formal authority of a title. They may be doing it with informal authority, or again, stepping into that space in the future. Can be really helpful for building up our network. I think one of the things that we hear a lot across campus is that even though we have a large campus, relatively speaking, it's very easy to start to get to know people once you are involved in social activities or professional development programs, like some of our cohort-based programs. You really start to see how we're all very much interconnected, even though we may be in very different departments and different roles. And then again, ultimately, I think there's that byproduct of advancing your career. Anything that you do within that space of professional development that helps you grow, learn, and challenge yourself will ultimately advance your career. May not always be up a ladder, so to speak, but it might be changing to a new ladder or a ladder that you had never even considered before. So what I want to do is I want to pause here. And I also want you all to feel free to add to the chat. Like I said, I want to try to make this as interactive as we can, even when we have a big group today, and really get some of your thoughts here. What are other things that you can think about, either that you've seen over time as a benefit of professional development that you've experienced for yourself? Please feel free to start adding a couple of things to the chat. We like to call those chat blast, if you will, just to kind of get a couple ideas rolling. There might be other things that I have not mentioned here that we can absolutely spotlight within this community. So I'll give you a couple of moments here to get your thoughts together. If you prefer to unmute, you can also raise a digital hand and we can absolutely call on you as well. All right, I see so many great comments coming in already. If you are still typing, please feel free to do that. I'll kind of pick out a few here as I catch them. Malia, if you're able to help me too, if I miss something, please feel free to chime in. Deanna, same thing for you as well. But I love that Lindsay started us really thinking about better team dynamics, right? Again, the focus of this is a little bit more individual based, but when you think about the impact that professional development has for your team and the interconnected nature and growth of your team, I think there's a huge amount to say for that increasing of team dynamics. Maintaining our professional certifications. Yes, absolutely, Deanna. Making my life easier. I love that one. That's a great one. Increasing your own market value, learning new skills, keeping your work interesting and engaging as you grow. Absolutely. Oh, I like that one, Natalie. Keeping my brain sharp and active. Yeah, we all need that. Improving relationships. That's such a powerful one, Rebecca. Increasing your longevity with CU. Absolutely. There's so many opportunities on this campus. Sometimes it's hard to even think about with just the amount of things that we do day in and day out. So absolutely keeping up that longevity, being more valuable. And value can mean a lot of different things. Right? It can mean in your professional life, but also in your personal life. Oftentimes when we're in courses with folks, especially on topics like emotional intelligence or communication or conflict resolution, these are things that you are using outside of work that have just as much impact on you as the things that you are using within work. So it is very holistic. You are a whole person, just like everyone on your team. So when you can recognize that and think about that value aspect, it definitely is the professional based lens, but it also extends to so much more than that. Fred, I really like your comment. It helps you become more well-rounded. It impacts, yes, absolutely more than just your professional self, strengthening others and also encouraging sharing of knowledge, which is absolutely another value add. Thanks, Oscar. Any other comments from folks before we move forward? Malia, Deanna, did I miss anything?
I'm not seeing anything new yet.
Okay, I think I tried to catch them all. So many good ones coming in this afternoon. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and keep moving right on. And so I want to move us a little bit into thinking about the development planning process. And so when you're thinking about development plans, whether it be for yourself, or again, if you are leading others or a team lead, you can also think about this, okay, how do I help and support and coach the folks that I am managing or leading or supervising in whatever capacity that may be for you. And so when you think about the development planning process, really think about this as a roadmap. And so the roadmap that we usually try to think about, and I usually like to annotate if I can, it's a couple of different things. So where you want to start first is really thinking about, and I think this comes in that space of developing that keen sense of self-awareness. And it's really thinking
little one for yourself.
Oh, do we have someone that has a question? Oh, no. All right. Don't worry about it. I know sometimes it's really easy to unmute by accident. So it's really thinking about and taking a hard look on that self-awareness piece of those natural areas of strength that you have and those areas that you really want to grow more into. Oftentimes we'll frame that up as an area of growth, as an area of opportunity, even an area of development. And so when you're thinking about this, what we then encourage individuals to think about is the consideration factor of two pieces. It's both the technical side, right? So think about those hard skills. So computer programming, learning Excel, learning how to code, whatever that may be for you. Those hard technical skills, and again, those are usually things that are a little bit more quantifiable in nature. Sometimes they're even a little bit easier to write goals around because they are easier to quantify. So if you've ever attended like a SMART goals class, we often talk about soft skills versus hard skills or those power skills. So when we think about technical or functional knowledge and skills, that really is those hard skills. Those are those technical skills that all of us, I think, have areas for opportunity in. It'll just very much depend on the nature of your role, the level that you're at within your career. The other side of this, I would also say, is really thinking about those competencies and other behaviors, right? So that might be a little bit more on the soft skills. It doesn't always have to be, but it could absolutely be things like developing your emotional intelligence, developing better ways of coping with stress, developing ways to handle conflict in a more effective way, whatever that is for you. And then what we usually recommend, and I know sometimes this can be really hard, but it's really narrowing the focus, focusing on those one, potentially up to three things, even though sometimes three might be a little bit of a stretch. One or two things is usually a good place to start when you're thinking about developing in any of these areas, whether it be those technical skills and or that combination of soft skills. And so again, if you've taken any sort of SMART goals class or any activity that speaks to this, you do want to narrow that focus, 1 to potentially 2, at most 3, when you're thinking about things to develop. Because the likelihood of when you have more than that on your list, it becomes less likely that you'll be able to accomplish any of those activities or goals or improvements within yourself over time. So again, keep it narrow and focused to get started. You can always add more things to your list as time allows, but those would be the ones I would really hone in on. What for you would have the most impact? And then creating a detailed action plan. And so one of the things that Malia is going to add to the chat for us is actually a development plan. This is one of the things I wanted to include to you all. I can also send this out, Deanna, I'll give this to you all after today with a copy of the slide so you have it. This can be something that you use for yourself or also with others that you do lead or supervise. And it's just one document, right? It's one document that you can think about that gives you this roadmap and a structured approach. And so what I'm showing here on the screen is actually that development plan. It's giving you the roadmap, and it's just one template, right? You may already be doing this, and that's great. And if you're not, then it gives you a template to start with. It may not be the end all be all, and you can absolutely customize it and take it for whatever need or purpose that you have. But it really is around, using the tools that you have. And so what you're going to see within that development plan is a couple of key things. What we've tried to really indicate here is, again, keeping it limited, right? 1 to 3. And again, you can think about this in 3 different ways. It's either already a natural strength or talent of you or someone else that you're leading. It might be a proficiency that you want to strengthen a little bit further. And again, while we use the phraseology of weakness here, you can think about it as, again, how do I play to my natural areas of strength and support perhaps the areas that I'm less confident in, less comfortable in, because we're all going to have those. And that's something that we learn in this process of doing this potentially year to year. So this can also be a great complement for your goals for the year. I know we are already a couple months in, but it doesn't hurt to have something like this in your back pocket or to potentially not use for the next evaluation cycle. And again, we always recommend this for folks, particularly those that are in any of our programs, whether it's our self-paced manager certification program, any of our cohorts. We try to provide this as a document as well, so you can work with your director, your supervisor, and really make that collaborative process back and forth. So I wanted to provide that as a tool and as a document to you all. It's just another tool for your tool belt. And it can also just give you an idea of where to start. Sometimes things like this can be a little overwhelming if you don't necessarily have the framework or the tools or even a template to go with. And so that's why we wanted to make sure that we had that ready and available for you all. And it is fillable. So if you prefer to type into it, that's great. If you prefer to print it out and write in it, that also works as well. But it does then start breaking it down for you in kind of an approach of how do I meet these objectives in short little bits of time, right? Because again, some of these goals you may have may be lengthier in nature. Some of these skills that you want to focus in on, behaviors that you're trying to enhance, aspects of your professional development, they might be multiple years long. And so it can give you a place to think about it, big, broad terms in terms of multiple years, but also in smaller, more manageable chunks of time. So again, that is your tool to use as you would like. I wanted to make sure that you all had it today. And like I said, I will provide that after today's session as well. Before I move on, I want to see what questions folks have so far. If you'd like to add it to the chat, you absolutely can. If you prefer to raise your hand, we can ask you to unmute. But what questions or concerns or comments do we have so far before we talk a little bit more about our team? Okay. Don't think I see any or hear any, so I'm going to keep moving on. If that does change at any time, please feel free to add it in the chat and we'll make sure we catch it. So again, if you're not familiar with our team in particular, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the things that we do. Some of these have also changed, or we've modified aspects, adopted new things. And again, one of the things that our team really tries to focus in on is continuous improvement. So we're always trying to figure out, how do we do things better? How do we be even more customer centric? How do we try to provide the most that we can with having a small team and support as many people on the campus that we absolutely can? And so, again, this is a little bit about our team. You might know and see many familiar faces. Hopefully you can at least recognize most of the individuals from our team. Again, my name is Caitlin. I've worked on this campus for I think a little over 7 years, which is also really hard to believe. It goes by very quickly. And particularly on this team, I think it's coming up to 6, right around there, which again, also very hard to believe. But it has been such a joy and a privilege to be part of this team, to see it grow over this last 6 years or so, and just really to be part of a team of such incredible individuals. So when we think about our team within learning development, this is our strategy that we have. So our strategy is to be able to provide professional and leadership development at all levels that is linked directly to supporting the university's mission, vision, and values, as well as the execution of strategic priorities related to enhancing and promoting development programs at all career stages. So again, we do try to offer as many things to meet you where you're at, or to meet your employees where you're at if you're thinking about this from the lens as a leader, a team lead, a manager. And so I know many of you know Debbie directly, either from work that she's done out of the School of Medicine or cohort-based programs or coaching that she has done. But that is Debbie. She's our Assistant Vice Chancellor. She has been really the pioneer for so many things that we've been able to do on our team. So we like to call her our fearless leader, because she really is quite fearless when it comes to trying out new things and seeing how they shape up. So if you have not had the opportunity to meet Debbie, hopefully you'll get to meet her in the next bit of time. She does teach a lot on our campus, but she does really focus a lot of her efforts on coaching, especially executive level coaching. She focuses a lot of time on strategy work. She does work a lot though with teams. And you will also see her if you're in any of our cohort-based programs. She does have some classes that she does facilitate in those programs too. So it's always really nice when she can come and support those. Alan, our team is our organizational development consultant. Again, if any of you have taken strengths, is probably that you have taken a session with Alan. He is a Gallup certified coach, which is fantastic. So happy that we have him on our team and that skill set and that resource. He also does teach a variety of courses, both on the general side, meaning our campus programs, as well as our cohort-based programs. But you'll really see him a lot working with teams, also specifically focusing on strategy work. Tamara Boxer is our newest member of our team, and you probably have worked with her. She does a lot of the behind the scenes work. And so a lot of the things that as instructors, we just show up and everything is set up perfectly, she takes care of for us. So a lot within Precipio, a lot of organizing our materials and staying on top of enrollment numbers. So she's been such a value add to have in our team, and she joined in August. Andrea Duran, I know, again, many of you probably know her. She teaches very heavily on our general program, which is our campus-wide offerings. She is also the program manager of our self-paced manager certification program. So if you happen to be in that program, you probably work a lot with Andrea. She also does teach in our cohort-based programs, and she does work with teams as well. So her and I typically partner a lot on our courses. In fact, I supported 2 of her courses this week, and it's just so fun to be able to do that with another instructor. She really focuses a lot within continuous improvement and also project management. But she also does teach our imposter syndrome course, which has become very popular as well. Katie Hamburg on our team, she's our program specialist. So many of the materials that you see or that you'll see coming up in this next couple, I would say months or so, are really the creative brainchild of Katie. She is incredibly creative, and a lot of our template work she's been working on internally for us. She does a lot of our Smartsheet build outs. So pretty much all of our Smartsheet applications she is part of. She builds the forms, she's building dashboards. And so really, really amazing work happening behind the scenes. She's also really taking the lead on our new employee orientation program. And so we'll talk about that, hopefully another HR community meeting in the next month or 2. But we've been really revamping new employee orientation, and she is spearheading most of that project, and it's very exciting. So I won't give too much away, because hopefully she'll be able to talk about that in the next few months. But we are doing a lot in the space of new employee orientation. And then obviously you have myself here. Again, I teach a lot in different capacities, both in our general programming, also very much in our cohort-based programs. And then Brian may be a person that you don't see too often. Again, another individual behind the scenes, but he is our website administrator. So everything that you see on the website for Central HR, that is something that he has put together and he's modified. He also does partner with us a lot on e-learning courses and is just a really great person to have on our team, as he does support in multiple different facets beyond our website. So again, that's a little bit about our team. Hopefully you've gotten to meet many of them, if not everyone, but that is the team that is learning and development. So I want to talk a little bit about what we offer. And so many of you are probably quite familiar with our website, but if you are newer or maybe you haven't had the opportunity to explore our website, I'm going to show you a couple of key pages on that. I'll show you a couple more resources and again, things that we've really worked on over this last year to support that mission that we have and to hopefully meet you all where you're at and try to expand our programming, offer relevant courses, and really just keep a pulse on the culture of campus. And so where we're going to start first is I'm going to start with our instructor-led training. And I'll do a couple of these things within the slide deck, and we're really going to focus in on going through the website itself. So instructor-led training, one of the things that you're going to notice is that we offer, generally speaking, and we call it our general program, probably around 30 different courses throughout the year. We have some courses that are extremely popular and they have been on the docket for years, potentially some of them, I think like at least a decade, if not more, even before some of our team was here and some of the courses were facilitated out of employee relations. So like crucial conversations, crucial accountability, right? Those are the courses that are still popular, even though they've been offered for many, many years. So we do typically offer around 30 different courses throughout the year. We are always continuously looking at data and feedback that we get to figure out if there's any new courses, if there's any topics that we're not already covering or topics that we could expand further. We also do partner with a lot of the subject matter experts out of Central HR, which has been so fun and such a value add. So for like the tax side of the world, we've worked with Lindsay Paquette and her team. We have worked with let me think about this one. For our employee leave, that would be Michelle Padilla. Trevor Mead is also in that space. And so we've with a lot of individuals within Central HR to also bring you hopefully relevant content, which may be even more relevant for this group that's on the call today. One of the things that we also talk about in our cohort-based programs, specifically in the HR professional development program, is we've brought in SMEs, again from Central HR, to help develop and design curriculum in terms of talent management and acquisition and employee relations and HR IT and also our HR operations. So we do try to cross collaborate with subject matter experts across Central HR to bring content that we hope the campus finds relevant and valuable as they're growing their own skills and expertise. And so one of the things that you're also going to notice on our instructor-led training page is that we do put out an annual calendar. And normally speaking, we have that calendar out in December, the year prior. So what you probably saw is our campus announcement. I think it came out probably mid-December, right before the holiday break, getting everything opened and ready to go for 2025. And that is something that we are always evaluating. So one of the things that Andrea in particular has been looking at is, are we offering enough courses? Are we filling up courses? Do we need to add more courses? Things like that. So that is always something that we are looking at in terms of, are we hitting capacities? Do we have too many people on a wait list? So we do try to add sessions as much as it is possible where we see that there might be a need. One of the things that we also did last year is we got our course catalog completely restructured, revamped, and overhauled. So you all might remember I mentioned Katie and her design work. Again, a spearhead of this project and the design aspects that went into it. So I'm going to stop sharing this slide deck for a quick second, and then I'm going to show you, like I said, we're going to actually go into the pages themselves. And I'm going to show you a couple of these things just so you can see where they're at if you're not already familiar. But also, some of these things have changed in this last year or so. So again, it's a new opportunity to introduce yourself. So again, this is our landing page within Learning and Development. I'm going to go ahead and click on our instructor-led training. And this is where you're going to see that 2025 training schedule. So anything that you see out here is something that is, again, we consider that our general program. That means it's offered campus-wide. Anyone that is interested can participate. And this is where you'll see kind of the running of the courses. So we do try to update that too as new courses are being added throughout the year, but that's a good document to make sure that you know where it's at. Or if your teams are not aware, that's a good one to take a peek at. Now, this is our actual catalog for this year as well. And again, this one I'm very excited about. I'm very, very proud of all the work that went into it. And so I wanted to make sure I showed it to you all in case you had not seen this yet. So what we have actually done is we've broken out the catalog by audience type first. So university staff and faculty, so many different offerings out here. If you're a manager or supervisor, if you're a team, some things that you might want to consider. And again, if you are an HR business partner, so if you're not already taking that, especially in this community, might take a peek at some of those course offerings. And so we also have a redesigned course legend or an icon legend to tell you what these specific things mean. And then now each of our classes has been linked to competencies. And that was a huge overhaul or a huge project that happened last year to really connect it back to what do all of these big, broad topics really feed up to with these competencies. And so again, this was really a spearhead by Debbie in coming up with kind of these big, broad buckets based on SHRM's model of managing the organization, leading self, leading others and teams, and leading programs and projects. So one of the things that you're going to see in this new catalog is every single course that is out here is going to have a very similar look and feel. You'll be able to easily tell how many contact hours it is, if there's a price associated with it, which is usually because we need vendor materials purchased, what the objectives are, what those macro competencies are, some more of those sub competencies that are also part of the learning, and then any sort of pre-work, prep materials, and the intended audience. It's also been linked to, so that way it's easy to access, so you can quickly get into Percipio, or if you are wanting to do something with your team, that's something that we'll talk about in a little bit. All of the courses, for the most part, we can absolutely do with teams. And so we would have you fill out this form. We would do a discovery call with you, learn a little bit more about your needs and your wants, and then recommend some courses based on the conversation. So again, I wanted to show you all that in case you had not been to this page. This is something that we worked a lot on last year to try to make it as functional, as clean as it possibly could be, but also to really start highlighting competency-based learning. So again, really great resource for you. The other thing that I want to show you that's on here is, again, we have all the course descriptions also broken out down here. We talk specifically about our continuous improvement series. So if that's an area of interest for you, highly encourage you to take a peek at that. And then we do have so many wonderful and amazing guest facilitators. So we try to spotlight folks periodically that also support our different courses and programming. So I'm going to pause here just for a quick second to see what questions folks may have of me around the ILT, the instructor-based learning options. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move us right along. And like I said, I'm really going to focus in on some of these key website pages. And so now I'm going to go ahead and move us to some e-learning options that you have. And let's see, we're going to go to the online training resources page. Now, this page is a really good starting page if you are trying to navigate to multiple e-learning platforms. And so we talk a little bit about LinkedIn Learning. That is one that I am a big, big fan of. So if you are following me on LinkedIn, you'll see oftentimes that I'm using this for curriculum development, but I also very much use it for my own personal growth and development. And so that is a tool that I highly recommend to folks. Coursera has also become very, very popular. I've heard more individuals ask about that. That might be something that you want to take a peek at, again, for yourself or for others if you're helping your staff in their development plans. We also, if you have not already been into Percipio. We do have a new learning management system as of September of last year. So Skillsoft was our prior learning management system. So if you hear me say the word LMS, that's a learning management system. Percipio is basically the new version of Skillsoft. So I am going to do a quick demo out there as well, but I also wanted to point out that we do have a demo video that is posted to our site. So if you have not fully explored the capabilities of Percipio, that might be something that you take a peek at. We also on this page try to periodically post new or interesting hot topics in terms of professional development. So you'll if you come out here frequently, you might see these topics change time to time. One of the things that you may also notice is Poll Everywhere. So that was another project that we did in 2024, really to start creating a database and information on Poll Everywhere. So if you are a person that is willing to dive into Poll Everywhere, maybe you want to use it for presentations, engaging an audience, absolutely, please feel free to check out all these resources. And again, this was a partnership of myself and Alan and Brian. So all of these videos that you're going to see out here, Brian actually created each one. And so there's really a lot of information out here that you can absolutely take advantage of. So that was one that we did last year that might be helpful for you. But I wanted to specifically focus a little bit on Percipio because there's some really neat things that if you are not already in Percipio, I highly recommend that you take advantage of. So one of those new tools is the Cassie AI simulator. How many folks have used that? If you want to add a thumbs up to the chat, I'd love to see how many folks are already engaging with that. And if you're not, then this will be hopefully a cool opportunity to get to show you something that you have not seen before. So if you've been using the simulator, please add a little thumbs up to the chat. I don't think I've seen any yet, so this will be really neat. Okay, let me show you a couple of the features then. So if you come out to Percipio, let me back into this for a quick second. So Percipio is in your CU portal. You would access it like you used to be able to do in Skillsoft. And there's some neat features about Percipio. The one in particular I wanted to spotlight for this group was the AI simulator. And so AI is becoming such a hot topic. It is also becoming a very hot topic in our side of the world within learning and development and organizational development. And one of the simulators that, or one of the aspects of this I think that's so neat is the simulator. And so I'm going to show you just how this works. So let's say I want to have a crucial conversation. Now, again, this is going to be a big, broad search topic. It's probably going to produce lots of different things for me, which it is. But let's say I really want to practice with an AI simulation. Okay, let's see. Oh, look, there is one on this topic. Managing emotions during crucial conversations. So I'm going to click that. And basically the way that the simulator works, it gives you a topic. So this one is going around basically managing your emotions, and it will give you a prompt. And so it's really the idea of what you're going to be walking into in this situation. And so I've actually taken this one just to practice with it, to see it, to recommend it to others as well. And essentially what you can do is you can come out here and actually, it sounds kind of weird, but you can actually talk to an AI simulated robot. And so the reason that we are really trying to get folks to be aware of this is it can be so helpful, because oftentimes when you're preparing for a crucial conversation or you're preparing for a tough topic within performance management, you may not have another person that you can share or practice conversations with. This tool is actually really neat. So you have a couple of different things that you can do. And again, you can change what the avatar looks like. So fun. It's a little creepy, I know, but it is fun. You can change what the avatar looks like, right? I could pick that. You could actually read everything off, or you could click to have the AI actually speak, which is neat. And then basically it gives you the scenario, and then the AI coach will go back and forth with you in dialogue. So what I could potentially do is, yes, I could absolutely type, but I could also pretend to have the conversation where I could record my responses. So let's say in this case, I was a first-time manager. I was grappling with the challenges of managing my emotions. and an employee's ongoing performance issue, right? So it gives you that whole prompt, and then basically you just get to practice. So I'll kind of show you what this can look like. Let's see if this will work. Okay, so it's going to start recording here, right? See, look, it's recording my speech pattern. And basically when I'm ready, I can hit submit. It'll submit that and it'll start a running transcript with myself in the AI bot. So I could say, hey, Jeanette, thanks so much for coming in today. I appreciate it. I really want to talk to you a little bit more about this. I'm having a hard time with X, Y, and Z, right? And then I could submit this. And then what it should do, it's going to go back and forth. Now, again, you can also click to hear it as you're actually having a running dialogue. So you could click to hear it or you can read it. It still has a little bit of a robot voice, I'm not going to lie, but it's something to practice with, especially if you are trying this out. Now, one of the things I particularly like with this, let me see if it lets me show this. I don't know if it will. Usually you have to go a little bit longer in the conversation. After you finish the conversation, you can end it. And then what Percipio will do is it will give you real-time feedback about what you did well, areas of opportunity, and then also recommend for you specific courses out of Percipio or videos or books that can help complement your learning. So I wanted to show you that today. If you're not taking advantage of it, I think it's a good tool. Again, it's probably still a little bit newer in fashion, so it's still a little bit of a robot voice, I'm not going to lie, but it is something that I think you can absolutely take advantage of. And there is, I don't know how many topics there are, but a couple of the ones that you can see here that I've specifically been using or recommending for folks is psychological safety. That's become a very popular topic with teams that we're supporting. Managing emotions, again, what you just saw in Crucial Conversations. We did a customer-based training with a team not too long ago, so I also recommended this for them as a practice. And so this one's actually good though, because it can show over time how I did, right? So I practiced this in October. I did it one time, outstanding. And then it's going to show me, okay, what skills did I do well? What could be some areas of improvement? What might be other ones I could potentially practice? And again, if it has information around other trainings that might be relevant, it will also include those at the bottom of the page. So this is a cool tool. Hopefully you get to take advantage of it. And if nothing else, at least try it out so you have the experience in doing so. So I'm going to pause here to see what questions folks have on the AI simulator before we move on to a couple other topics.
Caitlin, I just wanted to hop in, just general questions of where you can access that tool. Do you mind showing folks again? Thank you.
Caitlin, I think you might have got muted.
I did. Thanks, Woomy. I don't even know how I did that. Thank you. I appreciate it. You all would have just heard me just really animating, talking to myself. So to answer Malia's question, if you are in your portal, which again, I'm going to show you. So it's if you're in your CU home page, for example, this should be an area that you're all relatively comfortable with navigating. Again, you probably go into HCM a lot. You're going to go into a different tile. So what you would want to do is go to CU Resources Home and click Training. And then you can navigate, and again, it still looks like it's Skillsoft because again, Percipio is the new name of Skillsoft in this space. You can click the tile. And then there's a couple of different ways that you can get here. You may find your own best way to do this. These are just what I have found. So sometimes what I do is I will search the topic. So in that case, let's say I was doing customer service. Takes a little bit of time to load. I think it's because it's pulling in so much information. And then I specifically, what I do is I focus in on AI simulator. So that's one path that you could do. And then basically it's going to pull you a whole series of things that are related to the topic of customer service that are related to the simulator. So it's got a couple of other things out here. Some of them I find are more related than others. Generally speaking, just like your Google search bar, usually the things on top are usually a little bit more relevant to what you're looking for. But that's how you could do that is by searching a specific topic. I believe you can also search by just the AI simulator itself. Let's see. Yeah, okay, I'll show you how I did that. So I'm going to go back one, click. It may be on your opening dashboard, but it has this encourage your team to try the new Cassie simulation. And all I did is I clicked that, and it basically pulled a whole smattering, if you will, of these different simulators based on different topics. So again, this might be very relevant for this group. First time people manager simulations or leadership. Customer service has also been very popular. Coaching may also be one for your team as well. So that might be, oh, and I saw, Lindsay, I saw your comment does show up on the left-hand menu under dashboard. Yeah, let's do that view as well. Okay, so you could also find it there. Perfect. So there's a couple different paths to get to it. Even if at a bare minimum, you just search the simulation, I think you could probably also find it that way as well. Malia, I'll turn it to you because I saw a couple other questions. I'm not sure if I captured them all.
Yes, some folks were asking about how you add in like different topics, and it looks like they found out some, but just asking for the group how you might add more.
Yeah, so how you look for different scenarios. Oh, and are you asking how we could get more scenarios added, maybe?
So the original question before they retracted the statement was, how do we go about adding different scenarios to the AI platform?
Oh, okay. And it looks like they were able to find all the different topics. Okay, perfect. Yeah, because that was what I was going to say is you could search for those big, broad buckets, which it sounds like that person did, which is great. In terms of the scenarios themselves, I don't know if there's ways that we can get more topics added or create our own. But what I have seen is hopefully more topics will be added as they become popular. Again, that might just be a guess on my end, an educated guess. But as they see more people using these simulations, as become more popular, hopefully it means that we would get more of them added to our Precipio account. But again, that might just be an educated, perhaps wishful thinking on my part. But feel free to try them. I think there's some real value add to doing it. And again, it's really that integration of AI and people and how we intersect together. So please feel free. I know it's a little weird to talk to a robot, but it gives you some really good feedback that you can actually tangibly use before you have to go into a critical conversation or an emotionally charged performance evaluation or something to that effect.
Next question here is, they're not directly seeing the dashboard option that you're referring to. How can they create that dashboard?
That's a great question, Jean. I do not know the answer to that. I wonder if it's here. Let's see, my quick links. Let's see. I think that's gonna, oh wait, I think that's gonna show you different dashboards. I'm also learning this platform with you all. I've been practicing within it just to try out some new things. Jean, you might be able to do that with the My Quick Links, but let me research that a little bit more. And I'll also connect with Katie, who's our program specialist. She's been very much into the learning of this system, even more than I have been. I'm going to see if she knows a different way to customize this and actually build up their own dashboard, because I don't think I actually had to do anything to get this here. Which is interesting now that I've said that. The other thing that you might be able to do, let's see. No, that's just going to do your settings. Okay, Jean, I will research that and give that back to the group. Deanna, if I get that answer from Katie, I'll connect that to you so you all have an idea, because I don't know the answer to that, and I'm okay with saying that. I wish I could give you a real an answer in real time. But that's going to have to be a TBD for now. But great question. I will do a little bit of research and see what I can come up with. Thank you for asking that. Okay. Malia, did we capture everything on the chat?
You did. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you all for the questions. Like I said, I think a lot of people are really becoming familiar with this. And so I wanted to make sure I spotlighted it today because of that. Let me see if it's one more thing. Oh, this could be what it is. Okay, so Jean, I think to answer your question, my view looked a little bit different because I was in the admin view. So I have a little bit more access than what you all would have. But that is actually a really good reminder that if you have more permissions, you may have multiple views. You do want to be in your learner view. So again, I switched my view on top. So that might be, that's actually exactly why. Jean, I have the dashboard. That is something that's part of the administrative side of this platform. So look at that, learning new things all the time. But it does usually, what I'm seeing here for a lot of folks is it should have the simulator up front. It might have a couple of different topics within here for you. And then also on the left-hand side, it does have the AI simulations in those big broad buckets. Okay, good. I'm so happy that we figured that out. I was like, I don't know why this is showing in a different way. It is because of the permissions I have. So hopefully that helps. Your view should look very similar to mine now as the learner. It will give you some ideas of recent learnings that you've done. It will also show you, I don't think the live learnings is something, I don't know if we're using that yet. That might be something that you've already pre-registered for. But again, that Cassie simulator is great. And it can also, this is interesting. I haven't figured out how this works yet, but it does sometimes have recommendations for you based on other things that you've searched. So again, I think there's a lot to be said for this new LMS. Again, as you all saw, I'm still learning it. So it's going to be something that I think we're always learning and hopefully getting more savvy with. We can provide additional guidance on. One of the things I would definitely recommend too is checking out on the website underneath the e-learning platforms, that Percipio demo. That's going to be a good way to really become more oriented to the Percipio tool itself and hopefully walk you through some of the questions you might be struggling with. So excellent questions. Sorry about that all. Hopefully that didn't create too much confusion, but that was helpful for to change the views. That will dictate how your setup looks if you have a different set of permissions. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit now. Let's see which one we're going to go to. One of the ones that we haven't covered yet is also our professional development pathways. I'm going to show you all quickly that as well. And again, you can go to that professional development pathways from our learning and development homepage. The way to think about these professional development pathways is we have tried to curate some different areas of programs. So for example, we have our manager certification program, we have our HR professional development program, our CU essentials program, and our administrative assistant program. And so I wanted to play this short video for you all. Again, you're going to hear a Brian on this video from our website administrator, Brian narrating this, but it gives a high-level overview of all the different professional development pathways and ways that you might want to take advantage of. So I'm going to play another short video here, give you some introduction to this, and then I'll see what questions folks might have, or if there's specific programs you'd like to talk about more in general.
Professional development, as defined by Harvard's Division of Continuing Education, involves acquiring new skills through education and training. It includes activities like classes, workshops, conferences, and certificates to enhance expertise. Why is it important? It's a key driver for career advancement and helping individuals stand out in their field. Let's explore why it is essential for your career growth as an employee. Professional development enables individuals to acquire new skills, including technical expertise and essential power skills like communication and emotional intelligence. It also enhances credibility, confidence, and leadership capabilities. As you embark on your personal development journey, our Professional Development Pathways website can serve as an invaluable resource to guide you through various career-enhancing opportunities. The diverse learning and development programs offer a range of pathways tailored to professionals across the CU Anschutz community. The Manager Certification Program offers a comprehensive curriculum designed to empower both aspiring and existing supervisors and managers with essential skills and knowledge. With flexible formats, including self-paced and cohort-style options, this program caters to diverse learning styles and schedules. The HR Professional Development Program is designed to enhance the capabilities of early and mid-career HR professionals. You will have the opportunity to engage in specialized curriculum to increase your skills and knowledge of HR practices within the CU Anschutz community. The CU Manager Essentials program provides a curated collection of materials tailored for supervisors and managers within the CU Anschutz community. Designed for both new and existing managers, this program offers essential resources to enhance leadership capabilities and support organizational success. The Administrative and Executive Assistant Development Program offers a set of self-paced modules designed to support administrative professionals. Tailored to the unique responsibilities and challenges, this program provides tools to enhance your proficiency and productivity as an administrative and executive assistant. Are you ready to take your next step in your own career path? Visit the Professional Development Pathways pages to explore further.
Okay, so if you had not previously seen that video, hopefully it gave you a good broad-based introduction to, again, what we're calling the Pathways page. And this is a really good page to become familiar with in terms of really understanding some of the programs that we offer on a rolling basis or on an annual basis, depending on the nature of the program. So again, we've got lots of details out here on our manager certification program, both the formats of the self-paced program, as well as the cohort-based model, our HR professional development program, which this year we actually have 2 cohorts running. I see many of our cohort folks on the call today, so it's nice to see you all. Our CU Essentials program, as well as our Administrative Executive Assistant program, which those are going to be hopefully built out even more so in this next year. But we do have at least some starting information to get you started in that process if that's something that you're interested in diving in further. So this can be an excellent page to come back to. We also include information on the Educational Toolbox series, if you're not familiar with that, as well as our Women in Leadership program that we partner with a couple other different departments on campus for. So this is a really good page to become familiar with, or to share with your employees if they're not already taking advantage of it. The other page I also wanted to show you here as well is our consulting and custom services. And so again, I know many of you from your team-based sessions are already taking advantage of this, but that is a big, broad topic that we cover within our team. So in addition to our general programming that we offer campus-wide, in addition to all those cohort-based programs, our self-paced, all those things that we talked about in the Professional Pathways program, we do offer a lot of services customized for teams. So in terms of things from strategic planning, engagement survey work, coaching, assessments, so many different things that we could potentially do and build out for your team. And one of the things I wanted to point to is if you are interested in something like that, maybe you're not even quite sure what you could do or what you could request, you can always submit a customized request form that is at the bottom of the page. It's going to ask you a series of questions, things that you might be interested in. And then what we do is we do a discovery call with you. So someone from our team meets with you to talk about your needs a little bit further. And then we try to build something either for you, whether it be a custom build, or maybe it's a course that already exists, or a course that could be modified, or maybe something totally outside of the box where you're just needing a little bit of a brainstorming partner. We can be that partner for you. So please feel free to take advantage of that if you are not already doing so. That might be a value add for you, for your team, and also just a way to explore a little bit further on what we can customize for your group. Okay, so I'm going to pause here. I know we covered the Pathways page, a little bit of a highlight from the custom services arena. I want to see what questions folks have of me before I open it up for general questions on anything that we did not get the opportunity to already cover. While folks are thinking about that, I just want to mention other things. Again, our team is definitely here to support you and your teams, but you might also be considering other things for yourself beyond what our team can do. So things like formal education or going back to get another degree, conferences, workshops, additional seminars within your area of specialty, mentoring others. That can be great. I know there's different mentoring programs across campus and within the School of Medicine. That's a value add, giving your expertise and your time to someone else. Networking events, volunteering for projects, and books. I cannot speak enough about books. I think on our team, collectively, we have so many different books and topics. And so it's really a value add that you can take at any level, any individual can take advantage of reading, of really processing, especially on the soft skills, right? You think again about those big, broad topics like emotional intelligence or conflict. Those are things that you can absolutely take advantage of. And for the most part, you can find them at your local library. You can even take advantage of finding resources and books out of Percipio. So I would say check that out first, especially if you are a person that likes to read digital materials. Start there. That way you're not having to pay for additional resources or books on your own. You can really take advantage of what the system has for you first before you start exploring further. So, oh, and Lindsay's doing a leadership book club in ortho. I love that. Lindsay, I would love to hear a little bit more about that. So let me know. I think anytime that we can spread knowledge and do book clubs and even something like that, where we just start that grassroots effort, it can really go a long way, because the likelihood of you reading a book that your coworker or colleague is reading is actually probably pretty high, or maybe it's something that you've never even considered or thought of before. So yes, so happy to hear that. Let's see. Is there a training you might recommend to help being more organized with digital files? Oh, Angela, yes, that is something I absolutely need. I'm laughing because I'm resonating with that so much. That is such a hard topic. And it's interesting that it feels like it shouldn't be that challenging to be organized, but it actually really is. And so one of the things I don't have a specific one in mind, as of right now, but what I will do is I'll do a little bit of research. I'm going to document that for myself. And again, when I send out some resources to Deanna after today, I will see what I can come up with. Usually my best piece of advice when you're looking for something like that is think about the resources that you have at your disposal. So what can you find on LinkedIn? That's usually my preference. That's where I go first. Doesn't mean it's the right approach, but that's where I typically land. So what can I find on LinkedIn Learning? What can I find within the LMS Percipio? And then really trying to use one of the tools that you might even consider is, are there any books within that topic? So, or anything that's offered by other departments. I know sometimes OIT does specific trainings, or they may have things curated. I will explore that a little bit further, and then I'll circle back with this group with anything that I can find that would be helpful. It's also a topic I struggle with. So that's why I think it would be a value add to look for that for myself and then share what I can come up with. Yeah, and Deanna, I think that's great. LinkedIn Learning, absolutely. Organizational classes. It really just depends on the nature of what you're looking for. And time management. I feel like those two in general tend to be really popular with folks, and they sometimes go hand in hand. So that's definitely an area that we can support in, and I'll be happy to look for that too. Yeah, you are not alone on that one, Angela. Right. What other questions do folks have? General questions that you may not have had the opportunity to ask, or maybe you thought about it a little bit more. Like I said, I've got a couple action items I'm going to follow up with this group to hopefully be able to provide you some follow-up resources. But I want to turn it over to see if there's anything we haven't yet covered. Oh yeah, Deanna, that's great. Deanna, did you want to speak about that on the School of Medicine side?
Sure. So we have started to build out this professional development opportunities tile on our website. And right now we have some LinkedIn Learning modules by management topic on there. And then we have a list of professional development opportunities that we've curated over the years, and it's for both faculty and staff. And actually next week at the SOM HR meeting, we're going to be asking you to add your department specific opportunities. We have some generic stuff around, we have research, we have clinical, we have leadership. So we have some resources already, but we don't have a lot of department specific things. So we're going to be asking for your guys' contributions so that we can build that document out further. And then we also have a sample professional development guideline. So if you don't have a professional development policy in your department, there's a sample one out there for you to try to get that going within your department. So we'll continue to build out that section. But there are a few things out there right now.
That's awesome. What a great value add that you all are able to do and provide that. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you for chiming in. I appreciate that. I think anything where we can share resources and share that that perspective is really, really helpful. So that's great to hear that you're already doing a lot of that, and hopefully we'll be able to expand a little bit further. What other questions or comments do folks have? Otherwise, Deanna, I'll turn it to you. I know we're finishing a little bit early, but I know this is flexible. So if there's any other announcements that you have on your end, I want to make sure that you have time and space to do that as well.
Yeah, no, thank you for coming. And if anybody has any questions, yeah, feel free to chime in now, take yourself off mute and ask Caitlin. Otherwise, we will see you next month where we have, I believe, an in-depth deep dive into compensation. So Brendan's going to run that next month. So we will see you then. Thanks, everybody.